So I want to show you this fruit fly trap that I've made. So this was just put up yesterday afternoon. So it's made from an old soft drink bottle. We just have some UV resistant twine, which I think is what we call builder's string, or whatever. It's what you use when you're trying to level when you're trying to create a level. I used it when I was building the house. We'll just run that through and then put a stick under the lid, and then we made a couple little holes in here, and then I put a cotton bud with the bait, which is an oil that it mimics the smell of the female pheromone of some fruit flies. So I didn't actually know if the Queensland fruit fly could be baited using this. This is made for the Indonesian fruit fly, which is a bigger species, and it's even worse. It's even worse than the Queensland one. Queensland one's pretty bad. Anyway, less than 24 hours, and there's a lot in here. So they get in there, and this is all males. These are all males. The females are around, but I'm gonna have to make a different bait for them. This is called male annihilation technique. It's used in a few different species of insect, but fruit fly is a classic one. You basically trick the males into coming here instead to the female. Female can't get her eggs fertilized, and game over. Population crashes. Yeah, so I showed you these chilies the other day, but I didn't show you a couple of other things. I want to show here. This is this ashitaba. So this is a relative of celery, parsley, all that kind of family. This plant's from Okinawa, and it's one of the there's a whole lot of different plants which somewhat attributed to the Okinawans' longevity. There's this, and then there's bitter melon, the purple sweet potato, and there's a couple others. So I'm sort of collecting all those because I like them anyway. I haven't actually got many recipes for this yet, so if you know some, let me know. But yeah, this is about a year old, and I grew it from seed. This one here, I bought as a plant, so I don't think there's much genetic diversity of this plant in Australia, but we do our best, get what we can. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 plants, I think. So I want them to fruit, so we can get lots and lots of seeds and grow more. And I've seen it's a relatively good price. So you see these chilies here. This is Capsicum chinense. These are like a medium strata, so they like a bit of canopy. Probably could do even more canopy than what they have. But I think ashitaba is also medium. So these two are sort of in competition. And I can kind of see that the way that they're growing together. Like, they're okay because they're side by side, but it just looks to me like if one had got the dominance over the other would suffer. And if they're a complementary strata, so if they like, for example, you have a high strata, which is, actually here's an example. So here we have, this is Crotalaria. These Crotalarias are an emergent strata, so they need to be in full sun. Wherever I put them, like I have some behind me, they're not in full sun, and they are 30 centimeters tall after a year. So if they don't get full sun, they just don't perform. So this is emergent. So then we sort of skip a layer. So instead of going emergent high, we go emergent to medium, and that's why these chilies and this ashitaba are here. So everybody gets enough light, and not just enough light, but sort of towards the upper minimum, because then they're going to be more productive. You don't want things to be stressed, but you want them to be well supplied, well provisioned. So here's a mystery for me. This Trichocereus cacti, this is a remnant. It's one of the few plants that's been here for the last 15 years. You can see by these old chunks here. And the cows didn't eat this one, they ate the others. Cows, as it turns out, like to eat cactus. Even with the spines, it doesn't seem to matter, they still eat it. So anyway, this one they didn't eat. And I'm still trying to figure out what strata this is. I don't think it's emergent, because look how well this is growing. This has been smothered by this lantana, and yet, there's no sign of it getting skinnier. You know, there's no sickness. You know, you can see this, look in there, you know, there's some healthy pups coming up. So, you know, if something was like an emergent strata, need lots of light, you would see the impact. So like with these crotalaries over here, these are doing well. This other one in there, you can barely see it. There's too much shade in here. It just doesn't perform. So obviously not something that can tolerate any shade at all. Oh, there it is. That's it there. It's not 30 centimeters. It's a bit taller. Say 1 meter. But look how, you know, spindly it is. Same thing with this castor oil plant next to it. Not really a performer. I'm actually going to chop those out because it's obvious that this area is so shady that it really suits the medium, the low, and then just the odd high. So we've got like the yams, which are kind of high-ish. This Brucea javanica, I'd call that a high. And this acacia is high. Choco, kind of high. Choco, oh, guys. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's about 8 chocos about to fall on my head. Okay, better move. We've got this grass here, this guinea grass. This is medium. So this does quite well. I just cut this back a few days ago. So I've organised the mulch there and a little bit along here. This is just sort of its second cut. Kind of see it's got some good response in a few days. All that growth there. This new fresh growth is just 3 days old maximum, I think. Yeah, 3 days. So I'll let these fully recover. I can probably cut it one more time before, you know, it starts to cool down here, and I have to make sure I leave enough, you know, enough height, enough so that it can actually shade out its competition. I don't want it to lose vigor. I don't want it to be taken over by something else. Hey, what you doing? Hey, silly boy. What you up to? Alright, so let's have a look through here. So this is, explain what this is. One of the first rows I put in. So you've got bananas through here. Okay. Bananas and turmeric. They have a very similar leaf, but there's about there's a one goldfinger banana, and there's another banana, another banana, another banana. So these will grow up. I don't know. I think these are sort of mix of high and medium. I really don't know. And as far as I can tell, the bananas are not well classified yet. People say Cavendish is high strata, and I think Ducasse is high, and Ladyfinger is medium. But then again, the Ladyfinger that they have in, say, Brazil is a totally different banana to what we have in Australia. We call Ladyfinger. It's a common name. They're not even closely related, apart from being edible bananas. Totally different banana group. I've got some avocado here as well. That's the Wirtz avocado. So yeah, turmeric, that's about as tall as the turmeric will grow. It's actually flowering now. There we go. Turmeric flower, gorgeous. I mean, yeah, it's pretty. But as far as curcumas go, there's some really special flowers amongst those. Bit of patchouli, that's a low strata, I believe. Low medium maybe, we'll see. Test it out here. If it can live here and thrive, it's obviously kind of low. There's a quince in there. Yeah. Oh yeah, and so this was here in the beginning. You've got this lantana here, and lantana is a medium strata. So what we're doing is I let it grow, and then I cut it back, and I fed it to the turmeric. And for the time being, I think the turmeric, you know, this turmeric is much smaller. It's also younger than that. That's in its second season. So we should have a good harvest off that this year. Yeah, it's time to remove all this lantana. It's done its job. So now we're just going to, normally what I do is I just cut it off, and then I let it reshoot, and then I cut it off and reshoot, and it's always giving me organic matter. And then we have some eucalypts here. I'm just going to try and, I need this eucalypt to just get above this layer. And once it's up here, it'll take off. So I'm just sort of, you know, coaxing it by. Now you don't want to do too much. You don't want to do this too much. You only want to do this if they have, like pulling off these, like nipping these side shoots, if they have nice, strong, healthy leaves. Because otherwise, if you basically take too much off it, you'll slow its growth. But if they have enough leaves here, what you're doing is you're instead of focusing its energy into these many shoots, it'll focus into just one shoot. And so all the energy is coming up, 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 which is what you really want. So it's to take over from the lantana, which is our volunteer, our wild plant. We have this Plectranthus Forsoclei. Yeah, this used to be called Coleus Forsoclei. I think it's an Ayurvedic herb. Has many benefits. Sort of to do with, let's say, seems to me like to do with insulin, because it's good for things like hypertension and diabetes and all these other things which tend to be, you know, related to your kidneys and your insulin level, and it's all that cluster of metabolic issues. But I'm using it as a biomass plant, and I'm really pleased with this. Actually, it has really amazing flowers in the wintertime, which the bees absolutely love. And you know, you just stick it in as a cutting, very easy to root, and it just grows up. It's soft, you know. I say, as opposed to lantana, which has these, it's hard to see here, but these spines, right? Now, if you wear a glove, or if you just, you know, chop it with a machete, that's fine. But this, it's like nothing. It's just velvety. You just pull it off, you know, throw it under. And this one, I'll just snap it off, chuck it under. There we go. Chuck that. So now that will trigger all those to grow up again. Well, it's just, you know, adding to the layer of moisture and stuff like that. Here's one of, oh, hello. This is Carica gudotiana. I think it's the Papayuelo. I think this is my last one. Some other ones are doing all right, but then they got sick through the winter. So yeah, this one just came up, so that's good. I think it's definitely a female, and I need a male. So let me know if you know where I can get some seeds. Might as well pick these while we're here. Yeah, so actually this is a good combination of a stratification as well. Medium strata, chili. Not all chilies are medium strata. This one is Capsicum chinensis, the habaneros, the Scotch bonnets, all that sort of group. With a carica. So papaya, pawpaws, they're emergent. So emergent medium, it's a good combo. As long as this one, I should have probably pruned this back a bit more. Once this gets above and it gets the light, then everything's fine. You don't have to do any more maintenance. But, you know, if you're starting and this one's bigger than this one, you may need to just prune this a bit first, just to allow it to get away. There's a wampy tree in there. Yeah, this is my wild corner. See all this lantana? I love lantana so much. When you cut it back, you know, once you get under there, there's such good soil under there. Like if you've got completely rubbish soil and the lantana takes over, you know, lucky you. It's the best stuff. And then we have some Elaeagnus, which is meant to be fruiting. It's not. But anyway, that's a nitrogen fixing shrub. Maybe we'll talk about that another time. All right, I'm going to go up the hill and let's have a look at something else.